compassion itself starts to soften the anxiety, the criticism, the inner shaking, the inner nervousness, the inner low grade of meanness that we might have towards ourselves. With this, we know that's not the end of the story. The compassion comes and just calms us for a moment. We know there's more work to be done because we still are where we are. We may still have that sense of wanting to be in a different place. And depending on who we are and where we were at on our path, we may have more challenges than not in the moment that we're in right now. So it might be more about dealing with current circumstances than it is simply with being agonizing actually over whatever your life has been up till now and whether or not you actually totally achieved your dreams. So after we begin the compassion practice of bringing compassion to ourselves, being kind when we start to have a very negative, self-judging voice, the next step we want to take is building a conversation of acceptance. And I like to say that because I know that we are in concert, partnering with the divine on our own spiritual development, I like to include the divine in all these conversations of compassion, acceptance, surrender, and whatever else it is that we're going through. So I can look back on my life, for example, and say that I made these mistakes at these particular moments in my life that took me in a certain direction that made my life more difficult than it needed to be. And so the first thing that I want to do is look at that voice without the really incredible self-judgmental mean voice coming in. So I'm just going to say, I'm looking at these things and I see that I believe these were mistakes. And as I begin to bring them up to the surface, I'm going to do this in the spirit of having a conversation with the divine. And I'm going to talk about my true feelings that perhaps I felt really hurt at the time. Perhaps really I felt that was my only choice. I felt I was doing the right thing. Perhaps I feel like I just didn't have the right information or the right opportunities. And so I need to be more understanding towards myself and accept, absolutely accept where I'm at, accept each decision, each choice, each circumstance, everything that happened that I feel like was not my decision and not my choice, to bring it all into a place with the divine, working through each moment and each subject with the divine, to say, all right, I cannot change the past, and I need to be able to accept everything that has brought me into this moment in my life. And not only that, I need to accept my life as it is right now. And I'll come back to that in a minute. As I work through this acceptance, I want to also begin to bring in some ideas of spiritual thoughts and possibilities that could have created and been party to why I am where I am, or why the things happened to me that happened to me. And these are only certain thoughts. They don't apply to everyone. They don't apply to everything. One, I could say that whatever happened to me at this point in my life, as I'm talking to the divine, I'm saying at this point in my life, I want to use every experience, every emotion, every pain, every circumstance, and anything that I went through. I want to use it to do something beautiful with my life now. I want to take information, lessons, experiences. I want to take whatever I can as a result of whatever I've experienced and turn it in to diamonds to share with others. I also want to also make space for, as we're moving forward on a spiritual path, we're being a part of experiences, and I'm again not saying all the time, but sometimes, that is allowing us to move through karmic ties, karmic relationships, releasing karma that we have brought in from past lives or this life. And that can look like, for us, experiencing whatever we need to experience to allow pain and emotion to release, and also to allow us to come to places inside of more heart expansion, more compassion, more love.